do we say? What do we do? Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I had a few days to compute that defeat against Everton, and it just wasn't great. And I know this show is all about analysis, and I know the show is all about, I'll bring up stats, etc. But you could look at the game stats, essentially, and you could look at the amount of shots we had. And if you haven't watched the game, essentially you think, oh, well, we must have been in it because possession was pretty much split. Shots were split, but that's just not how it works at all. That's just not how it works at all. And it's a tough one to take. This defeat's a tough one to take because, man, we're all probably thinking the same. And I know the fan base is extremely split, and I'm very aware of that. And I'm disappointed in Moyes, and I'm disappointed in some of the players that have been so prominent to the reason why West Ham are where we are. But there's a time for transition. There's a time for change, which is obviously what the title of the show is. I don't want to beat about the bush, but there are many things you can pick up from this game. And I know we can all have a look at the game and see it. And I would have brought this show to you yesterday. Obviously, we decided to do no content out of respect to Her Majesty, the Queen, which was a fantastic service. And a fantastic farewell. Now, when it comes back to the West Ham game, you know, Moyes even said it in the press conference before the game, we need to pick up points in the Premier League, but we ain't going to pick up points in the Premier League playing like that. And what does it come down to? Is it down to team selection? Or is it about having the balls to try something a bit different? But it's a mixture of it all, to be honest, because there's players that aren't performing. There really is. There really are players there that aren't performing, that have really held their heads high for West Ham over the last couple of seasons. And this goes further than this season in particular, because we did dip in form maybe back in November onwards. So it's definitely something needs to change. It is time for change. And what is that change? So I'm going to get into the analysis, particularly on the game, and I'll go through the game from points I've picked up. I'm not going to just concentrate on attack and concentrate on defense. I'm concentrating on all as we build up in the game as such. So obviously, I've seen the game, I've rewatched extended highlights, and I've taken snippets of it to bring things to you. So now, early on in the game, you'll be able to see here. See if I can get this screen up for you properly. This is West Ham on an attack. It's the 26th minute. You've got Sefao running down the right-hand side. It's great. You've got Bowen open himself up in a bit of space, and you've got Antonio over there on the back post. Now, the only issue I've got with this, if I really had to be picky, is what real further options do West Ham have here? Apart, you know, if Sefao drives the ball forward, look at the organisation that the Everton defence is in. They've got the 4 central defenders there. Now, yes, okay, we've got 2 players in front of them. So, yeah, play that ball through to Jared Bowen. And he's still got a bit of work to do, but he's definitely more than capable of breaking that gap. But the thing is, though, Sefao didn't do that. Sefao carried the ball and slowed down the progressive play, which is something we're getting bitten with so much this season, is the slowdown of play. It's very, very, very frustrating as well. Let me see if I can just turn that down a little notch for you as well. So let me move into the next screen. This is him obviously playing there, but then look in the box. Look at the box. This is another attack for West Ham. Sefao and Jared Bowen again linking up play very early on in the game. Sefao's got a bit of space here, but you've got Antonio at the back post. Again, you can see he's not got the natural instincts. You've got Souček on the edge of the box. But look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Everton players in comparison to the 4 West Ham players. One of our players is out wide. You know, Everton are dominating this area here. And that's definitely a problem of concern. You'll see what I mean when I switch to the second half and the substitutes that we make later on in the game. Here's another passage of play. Again, one of my biggest concerns is the staticness of West Ham. You've got Antonio here. You can see his back, his borderline to goal, his head's over his shoulder, looking for the pass. You've got Paqueta here, you know, looking for the vision. Jared Bowen doesn't look like he's going for it, and you'll see what I mean later on when you look at some of the substitutes coming on. But you'd expect him to sprint in this gap right here, and maybe Antonio crossing over the defenders, causing these three problems, but we didn't cause them problems at all. Connor Cody, Tarkowski, and Mylenko just absolutely dominated any real proper threat that West Ham had in this game. This is our corner. This isn't the West Ham corners and set pieces we saw last year. We used to see the kind of train carriage effect with 3 or 4 or even 5 players would be standing here. Of course, you'd have Antonio standing on the goalkeeper, but where are our players? Where are they? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd usually see 4 in a line, and then you'd see 3 or 4 other players around there. Look at the amount of Everton players in that box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Every single Everton player is further forward. And I appreciate the fact that we don't have every West Ham player in the screen here, but and that from that position, especially the fact that we never borderline beat the first man half the time, where are our West Ham players in that attacking position? So it's a very frustrating position here as well. Again, this is West Ham on the attack, just on the brink of half time. Look, it's fine that Pablo Fornals is dropping deep, but he's the only option. Look at all of our static West Ham players here. And I'm not trying to sit here and say, listen, I'm not trying to say I'm sitting here and know what I'm talking about, but I think when you've got players that are so creative in terms of Paqueta, for example, then obviously you want him to be in this space here, dictating play. But I think there's a confusion because of the other players that he's playing with. Fair play to Pablo Fornals for coming to find the ball, but he collects it, and look, where's his support? There's no support. So the support's going to come from someone running deep from the defence. And that is definitely something we need to work on. We never had that last year. Look what Declan Rice is again. I mean, I think he had a fantastic game, but there's elements of his game that he's definitely dropped from last year, which is, I don't know if maybe he feels he needs to be more defensive, more supportive, because of the fact that, look where Tommy Souček is, right there, bang on the edge of the 18-yard box. So it's the switch up that fans called for, we got, and it's not working again. It's ridiculous. There's West Ham on the another attack. Again, this is my point I'm trying to make. Look at the staticness. Look at the staticness of these players here. Look, there's Souček. There's Antonio. I think that Zuma. I'm assuming this has come from maybe a corner or a free kick. This is why we've got players committed forwards. But they've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Everton players there. But it's the staticness. He's driving forward. Aaron Creswell's driving forwards. And look, where's the options? No one's creating options for him. And that is a concern for me, a massive concern for me. And here we go again. And you'll see when I switch it to later on in the half, the difference that our attackers make when they come on the field in comparison to our team that started the pitch. So we've broke Pablo Fornals, down the left-hand side. Paqueta, Declan Rice. Look where Antonio is. Look where he is. Look where Jared Bowen is. Why are none of these players in here? Look at all of this space. And you just think to yourself, put a body in there and you're creating an option. Because then you've got, if Antonio sprints through, Pablo Fornals has got an option to play the ball in here and you're causing them problem. Even if you put a player here, you run through, you've got a player to cause a problem. Even here. But that is 3 positions and we haven't put a single player in a dangerous area, and it's very, very frustrating, and it's clear as the eye can see. This is now with Everton, and this is our defensive problems, and this is where I'm going to bring up the Vladimir Safal situation, because I'm his biggest fan, as you can probably see, or listen, I think we all have been his biggest fan, but look, I mean, I've got the man's top there, and I still like him, and I still think I absolutely still think he's got a place in the West Ham squad moving forward. I don't doubt that for a second. But right now, he should not be starting for West Ham. For me, we need to move Kira across the right-back position. We bring Dawson in alongside Zuma, and that gives us that solidity down that right-hand side. I'll show you exactly what I mean about this solidity. Look, because if you think about it, this is Demarai Gray here. You got man of the match in the performance yesterday. Look at the gap, and he is screaming for the ball. All you need to do if you're that player is ping the ball over the top. Look at the pocket. Look at that pocket. It's dangerous. Now, the funny thing is, when we look at the next part of play, we've actually got the central defenders there, but Zuma's marking no one. He's marking absolutely no one. So let me just show you this screenshot again. Zuma's coming back. You've got Sufal here. You've got Tommy Soucek here. There's no communication. Look at Declan Rice. His head's not even facing the game. So, I mean, I sound like I'm digging him out, but I'm digging all the players out because they all deserve sometimes to that. So, the ball eventually finds its way out here on the pocket. Demarai Gray gets it, shoots, and it's a routine save for Fabianski. We get away with it. But who is Zuma marking? Albeit, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. But look at Iwobi. If Demarai Gray uses his mindset, Soucek has not got a clue that Onana's there. So Soucek's gone. The ball comes back to Onana. He has a chance to break and shoot. If it doesn't, he dummies it. Iwobi, bang, he shoots. So it's a bad decision making there for Demarai Gray. But West Ham are all over the shop defensively. Here's another example again. Iwobi collects the ball in the middle of the park. Look at Demarai Gray. Look at the West Ham players. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 3 attacking players here. What's Jared Bowen doing? He's not supporting his teammate down the right-hand side. Declan, look, it looks like a massive form of confusion. Who are you marking? Pablo, who are you marking? Declan Rice, who are you marking? Soucek, you've left the runner go. Why are you not following him? Antonio, where are you running to? Bowen, what are you doing out there, leaving him? Spare. Sufal, spare, man. Why are you not passing him on to Zuma? It's really, like, for me, it's extremely clear that we've got a problem down there. And the understanding. Again, Everton coming on. You can see the player running through there. I mean, at this point, you think, yeah, we should be extremely comfortable. Of course we're comfortable because we've got 4 defenders there. But what's Soucek and Rice doing, letting that man get through there? They're picking the pockets everywhere on the park. That's something they just shouldn't be doing at all. This is West Ham on another attack. And you can see there the ball gets played in from Creswell round to Fornals. Look at all this space. Why is there no one there? Why is there no one driving forward? I could sit here and say, Paqueta, why are you not coming forward? But this is why I think it's taking his time. I don't think it's anything else. I think he's got the ability. It's taking his time to adapt to West Ham, and it's taking his time to adapt to the league because currently West Ham don't really know what we're doing in the game. And I think that's why these changes have to be made. No ifs or buts about it. It is time to make these changes. And you'll see some of the changes again as we move into the next half. Now, this is the goal. This is the Everton goal. Now, I've seen some people were calling on some of the players in defence that we should have really dealt with the Mapai situation. But to be fair to Mapai, he collects the ball, turns and shoots. He did exactly what Skamaka did against Silkeborg. And, that's what strikers do. It's the natural born instincts is turn, shoot, and give it a dig. And sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But unfortunately, it did here. But Iwobi breaks past our defences. Declan Rice is sitting deep. Tommy Soucek is in no man's land again. And then Mapai collects the ball. He turns. And this is what Ian Wright is digging out Kira for. He says that he kind of steps forward, puts his arms back, and he kind of takes a step back rather than committing to making the tackle. I'm not so sure, if I'm being honest about that. I think that's reasonably harsh. And I don't think it's a thunderbolt either. So it's just the fact that he's found himself in that position. And he shouldn't really, if I go back the way here, I'm like, if Tommy Soucek, even if Tommy Soucek is just in this position here, the ball can't find its way through. So what is Tommy Soucek doing? What's Jared Bowen doing? Who are you marking? You're marking absolutely no one. So it's very, very frustrating. And that was the goal. And that was Everton 1-0 up. Again, there you go. Everton picking the pockets. Again, we haven't learned the lesson. Sefal struggling. He gets by Sefal, no problem. Then bang, look at what he's got. He's got good pace, which he did. That's why he got man of the match. And what does he do? He attacks Sefal because he knows he can get past him. And that is what he's going to do all day, every single day, every day of the week. Here we go again. This is just another passage of play for Everton. The thing is, this player here plays the ball for Anthony Gordon. He gets in front of everyone. But look at all these players for Everton coming forward. Look at them unmarked. Back post. Demarai Gray, unmarked. Here you go. Man there. He's just marked for this man. What are you doing, Jared Bowen? Why are you standing still? Why are you doing nothing, mate? Come over, support your team, Tommy Soucek. This area, Tommy boy, is absolutely rammed of West Ham players. Step in here. Step out a bit. Don't give them an option. It's very, very, very frustrating. Absolutely frustrating for West Ham. Again, here. Again, Demarai Gray, again, tacking down the left-hand side causing us problems. Our right-hand side, his left-hand side, absolutely causing us problems. No ifs or buts about it. And I think with this occasion here, this is why. Sorry, when I think about bringing Kira onto the right-hand side, it's an absolute no-brainer because he's got the pace. So if the player gets by him, he's got the pace to get back. Sifal doesn't have the pace anymore. He was beaten left, right, and centre in the game yesterday. Now, in actual fact, I've actually got stats for the game that I'm going to bring up for you here. He had 66% pass completion in the game against Everton. He made 0 accurate passes, crosses into the box. Sorry, 0 out of 4 accurate crosses. So not passes, accurate crosses. He made 2 accurate long balls from 8 attempts. He lost the ball 28 times in the game. He only won 6 of his 11 attempts at ground duels, and he only won 50% of his aerial duels. So that's showing you a player that's not in form at all, and he's struggling. I don't want people to sit here and think I'm just sitting here digging at players left, right, and centre, but I think it's there. If it's there as clear as mud when you watch the game, and then you add to the fact that look at those stats. You're your fullback. You should not be losing the ball 28 times because you're one of your last line of defence. You're losing that. Bang. Shit. You're losing possession in that area. It's dangerous. That's why Demarai Gray got man of the match. That's exactly why it happened. So I don't know what's going on with the Czech lads as well. Here's another attack down the side, Mike. I've got big concerns here. I don't understand what West Ham are doing in the lineup. Look at Anthony Gordon. No one is marking him. No one is talking to him. Why is... look at the gaps. What are we doing? Are we playing with 6 central defenders in this game? Why is nobody speaking to each other? Where is the communication? Are we lacking that leader? I don't know. I really don't know. It's ridiculous. Positives, though. I'm going to have to bring a positive into it. Look at the difference when we attack, when we've got Scamacca and we have Max Cornet. Sorry, not Scamacca, but when we bring Max Cornet onto the park. Look at the man. Look at him here. Look at his energy. Look at his drive. He's on the front foot. Look at Antonio again. There he is there, right? But he's on the front foot. He's always wanting to strive to achieve something. Look, here he goes again. Collects the ball. Look, Creswell, he's forcing options. Look at the player here. He's waiting for the pass to come through. This is the difference that Max Cornet makes to the West Ham side. Look at him out on the left again. Creating options, creating opportunities. Look at our players in the box. We've got players moving further forward. It's a completely different West Ham side. Ball gets crossed in, whips in. Look at Cornet here. Remember I said to you in the first half, earlier on when someone was down the left-hand side, you could just snip a ball round the corner here to Max Cornet, or to whoever was there, but this was empty space. Look what he's doing. He's giving us an extra person. He's bridging the gap between the midfield and the striker. West Ham on the attack again. Look at Max Cornet. He is absolutely relentlessly pushing forward. You name it. He thinks progressive football. We've got Scamacca on the field. Look at his energy. He's ready to rock and roll. He's on the front foot. Look at the drive and the determination from the rest of the team. It's such a difference and such a contrast. And here we go again for another attack from Everton. Look, bang, pick the pocket. I've said enough about that pocket, but it's ridiculous. But here we go again. Look, Declan Rice collects the ball, feeds in Aaron Creswell. Look at Max Cornet giving West Ham options. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players here. And because this guy, Max Cornet, keeps moving, he can move to this position. He can come in and he can support Aaron Creswell. And he can attack if he needs to. Game changer. I'm telling you, he's a game changer and he needs to start all the time. Here's another chance that Vladimir Safal lost the ball. You know, this is one of his duels that he lost it too easy. And then he steps forward here. And the other concern I've got is, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing, Tommy Soucek? You need to be some more supportive to your team on the attack. Again, though, look at the difference with Scamacca and Cornet. Front foot, chasing it, driving forward, creating spaces, creating options for the team to pass to him. And look what happens. He's very unfortunate. Another opportunity, Declan Rice collects the ball. Look at the two of them. And especially Max Cornet, look at his positioning. He is ready to sprint. He is going front foot, progressive football. He's like, put that ball there and I will get that ball. And I am not, no one else is going to get there at all. Very unfortunate. Look at him again, Max Cornet, getting himself into positions. Very, very unfortunate not to put the ball into the back of the net. again. Now look, we're out in the right-hand side. We cross the ball in. Unfortunately, it just goes over the bar. But the difference is, look where Skamaka is. It's inside the box. Really try and sweep up something if it's necessary. Back post, Max Corney. We're creating more and more and more options here. Again, look at the space. Emerson comes on. This is right at the end of the game. Look here at the back post. Look at Max Corney. Look at the difference with all the players. Yes, we're pushing for the game, but there is a big difference. There's energy. There's absolutely loads and loads of energy. So I don't know what else I can really do and tell you and show you the game. It's just really interesting when you look at the game broken down like that. Players I'm struggling with, though, Vladimir Safal, I've showed you his stats. Tommy Souček, I'm really disappointed. Here's his stats for the game. 75% pass completion, 1 key pass, 5 from 6 accurate long balls, 3 from 4 ground duels, 1, 2 from 5 aerial duels, 1, 9 times lost possession. So those stats could be deceiving to the eye. The biggest concern I've got with Tommy Souček is it's 25% of passes he doesn't make. And if you think about that one point in the game where he played in a wild ball back to our defence to no one, and really put our defence under pressure. Declan Rice went absolutely mental at him for it. I think he's lacking the confidence. I do. And I do think it could be time to give him a rest in the team and let someone else come in and try and take that mantelpiece over as well. Absolutely, 100%. Another player, though, that I love, I missed at West Ham, the Spanish Cockney, is Pablo Fornals. But he was brought in to do a job yesterday, and he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He was brought in to be, shore up that midfield, be supportive to all the midfield players. 87% pass completion, but he only had 1 from 5 accurate crosses attempts. Excuse the spelling mistake in there as well. He never made a successful dribble. He only won 2 ground duels from 11 ground duels attempted, and he lost possession 15 times. That's not where you need your midfielders to be. They need to be more supportive than that. It just wasn't a good day at the office for West Ham. This is why we need change. Max Corney needs to start. He bridges the gap between the midfield and the striker. Skamaka needs to start because he's always on the front foot. He's progressive. And you've got a player like Paqueta who can be creative. He doesn't need to look up and think, shit, why is everyone standing still? You go back several years and you see West Ham, static West Ham. That's what we were like yesterday until we made those substitutions. We were static, and I don't know how Moyes isn't seeing it. That's why it's time for change, not time for changing a manager. I'm not there. I'm absolutely not. I'm just saying time for change in the team. We need these players to come in and step in and get the consistent run of games. The vital thing for me is got Wolves coming up on the 1st of October. We've got 9 games in October. We've got 4 games in November. It's the first time this season I feel that we're going to have, as long as we get through the international break, we're going to have consistency, solid consistency, a great opportunity for West Ham to progress and change things in this team. But I'm telling you now, if I see the same starting lineup week in, week out for the next 3 or 4 weeks, then it's not looking great. It's really not, because teams have found us out big style, and things need to change. Hope you've enjoyed it. Check out all the content on the channel. Stay safe. And of course, if you're interested in becoming a subscriber, all you need to do is click that subscribe button. We're on the march towards 20,000 subscribers. Then there's a little bell notification. If you hit that bell notification, that will notify you when our shows do go live. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, then you can click the join option on the membership as well. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and give us your honest feedback on the shows that we're doing. As we always like to do, thanking the channel members. Take it easy. Come on, you irons.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of